Hello, welcome back. And today I want to take you through a simple workflow on how we can create a petrol station canopy. So if you take a look on the screen here, you can see we have a grid line, and this grid line has been defined in different measurements. You can see here we have these spans, you have these three spans here at 10 meters. You can confirm that by coming to edit and come to measure, and you can click on any point there, and if you mouse over there, you can see it's 10 meters. And you can see spans here, one, two, three, four spans. So to see those, just double click on the grid line here, and you can see the spans I'm talking about. On the x-axis, you can see we have four spans at 4,000 millimeters. Which are these ones? One, two, three, and four. And we have on the y-axis we have starting from zero, we have three spans at 10 meters. You have one, two, and three, 10 meters. And I think we've confirmed that. And this one can also always measure. And at the far end there, if I close this, you can see we have two spans at 4,000 millimeters. Let me just close that. Close that. You can see these are the two spans at 4 millimeters. I'll come to measure under edit and pick on that, and I'll be able to snap on that spot and snap and just mouse over that intersection. You can see that we have 4,000 millimeters, which is 4 meters. And I'll right click and terminate that command. Now, if I go back once again to check the utmost height that our column will be stretching out to, if I double click right there, you can see, let me just double click right there, and we'll be able to see we have this will move all the way from 0 to 5 meters. So the height of our columns will be sitting on the base plate, then moving upward by 5 meters. So let's get started right away and start placing our columns. Now I'll come to steel, then come to steel column right there. And this spot and this point and this point will be 4 meters, 8 meters. This is 4, this is 4. So this space will be enough for cars to maneuver, just to avoid the congestion on the station. So the pump will be placed on this side and pump will be placed on that side. So there will be a canopy extending to cover the pump, and that one extending to cover the pump, and also extension on this side. So let's get started by placing the columns. So I have my columns in place. By default, COMOSYS will give you a default profile or connection, and then from there you'll be able to customize to attain whatever you want, a type of connection or a profile of your choice. Now, always double click to configure that. So if you double click, you'll be able to access the editor dialog box of this particular profile. Also, you can access it by pressing shift and coming to columns and left click, and you'll be able to get that profile. So still, you can approach it in different ways. So we have the full height of a column, and beyond 0, there's no any extension from there. We'll only place the base plate, and it will be anchored on a concrete base plate. Now, in here, you always have this radio button here that looks like a section of an IB or a beam or a column. So always click on that radio button there, and that will take you to a huge catalog of all the materials from different nations. So always take into account that whenever you're modeling or tailing any structure, take into account of the availability of materials that will be available within your country, so that you don't create confusion once you've completed the model and submitted the materials for procurement. None of them is available locally, so that is a total confusion, and you'll have to start clicking or going step by step and starting to modify the whole structure, which is an absolute waste of time. So I always prefer the IPE. IPE is available within Africa. Mostly we access them from South Africa and maybe majorly South Africa, and we have them here. If I move down here and come to, I'm targeting 330, I'll pick on the IPE 330 and click select. So if I select on that, and let me just go back so that I'll show you just a simple thing. Let me apply that. Let me first of all apply that and give it an OK. And the reason why it's not responding is because we've double clicked on it and went further and access it from that spot. So there was a disconnection from that selection. So let me just double click on it once again and just type here maybe IPE 330 and click OK. Click apply, or just click apply or just set it as a default. Now, the way it is, the orientation will not favor my connection up, in my best opinion. So if I press Control Q, I'll be able to turn this into a direction that will be able to favor my connection. So I press Control Q and that will rotate like that. So from here, since the full height is 5 meters, I'm going to straight to start placing the base plate. So under base plate here, I'll come to base plate and pick on the base plate and select on the beam on the column, and right click. Then I'll go back to the base plate and select any part of there. And let me just close this first of all and press letter M and press enter on my keyboard like that. And that will take us to editing dialog box of this particular connection or the base plate, and I'll be able to come to my settings here. Though you can be able, it's always advisable you trim or you configure the settings to what matches your preferred type of structure. So if you come to plate here, you can see I have this is my default preset for this one. You can see this is for this, and by default it appears here. So I'll come to micro presets here and click on that drop down arrow and pick a different one, and I'll click load. So these presets you make them by yourself. I'll prepare a special training on how to configure those ones. So once I've done so, I'll just go ahead and click apply and give it an OK. So I have this in place. So I want to copy this the other end. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select that, right click and come to special copy and pick on linear. Then I'll snap at the bottom end here, right at the bottom end here and click. Then span to the location I want to copy this column to. I'll span at that 8 meters and click OK. And I'll just go ahead and click copy. And that one is enough. So from here, I want to place other columns on the far end there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to select this, select that, right click and come to spatial copy here and pick on linear. So I want to copy this the other end. So I'll just snap at the bottom end here and snap on that spot, right that at a span of 10 meters and click OK and count how many I want. I have 1, 2, 3, and 4. And since I have 1, I'll just need 3 extra. So I'll go ahead and click 3. So I have that all the way to the other end. No, now for these two spans, this will be the manager's office, managers for that will be managing the fuel station here. So this will be his office and his colleagues. Now I want to place the columns here. I'll place one right there, or I can just pick this one here and come to copy or come to spatial copy here and snap on the bottom end here and place it here, right here, and click OK. So once I've done so, I'll close that. And the orientation of this also will not favor the connection we have in mind. So I'll press Control Q and turn that round. So this column will be shorter than this because the office will not be the same height with the canopy. So I'll just double click in here or double click on the column and change this to 4 meters and click apply. I want to click apply, and we'll also do the same thing here, right click and come to spatial copy and pick on linear. So I'll snap on the bottom end here and snap on the other end here and click OK and click copy. So the moment I click on copy, I'll change the height of this column once again, double click on it. So I'll change this to 3.5 because this will be it will lean towards the 3.5 for water to flow evenly or smoothly when it rains. Now let me just type 3500 right there and click apply. So the moment I click apply and click OK, I'll be able to have that in place. So I have to copy this. Let me copy all these. Right click and come to spatial copy here and click on linear. So the distribution of this column will vary with how I intend to distribute this along the x-axis. So I'm going to select this once again, right click and come to spatial copy here and pick on linear. Then snap at the bottom end here. Let me just snap at the bottom end here. Then move all the way to this point here, which will be 8. And how many do I want? I want 2 of them. Just click 2 and click OK. So I have that in place. So I'll do the same thing on the other end. I'll select on that, right click and come to spatial copy and pick on linear. And I'll snap at the bottom end here and snap to that span of 4 meters. And how many do we want? We want 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'll add the count here to 4, then click OK. So that's how you arrange your columns. So if you right click and move your mouse like that, you'll be able to rotate that. So the views are here. So if you don't have the views, you can always come here and click on the grid line, then right click and come to create to grid lines, then create views on grid. So if you click on that and come to elevations here, and if I come to a view line A and double click on that, I'll be able to see the elevation here. And if I come to view 1, I'll be able to see the elevation like that. And if I come to view 3, I'll be able to see elevations. So I'll be showing you all the elevations as we move step by step. So let me just switch back to 3D by double clicking on the 3D and have my drawing in place. So let's meet down the next step, and I'll be moving step by step by placing other members or other profiles on this particular simple structure. Let's meet then. Bye bye.